All right, hey everybody. We want to thank you for tuning in. We want to invite you into our world here at iTA Studios in Nashville. Got Roy Futureman Wooten over there on the drums.
Yo.
And this is kind of a little teaser for what we have upcoming. We're going to be doing some concerts, live streaming concerts, every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday for the foreseeable future since we're all out of work. And these are going to be donation-based concerts from 7 to 8 p.m. every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, starting March 19th this week. And so it's kind of a performance, a podcast, and a masterclass all rolled into one.
Yeah. And rehearsal.
And a rehearsal, yeah. So we're working on a little tune right now called Little Bits, and just wrote it last night. So we're going to see what we can make out of it and play a little bit for you. I've got a few questions for the future man.
Mm-hmm.
Haven't showed them to him yet, but we'll get into that in a while here. So we're just going to work through this and just kind of show you the process of working out a tune.
Yeah.
So let's try it from the top. Let's try it under tempo.
Yeah, we're doing a little slower just for me to get through the...
Yeah.
Yes.
And we'll see what happens. Let's just try to get through the melody.
Yeah.
Above there?
Yeah.
1, 2, so that's what the break is. Those last two bars.
2, 1, 2.
Yeah. So let's try the melody again. So that's basically the melody of the tune.
Okay.
You want to try it up a little bit?
Yeah.
Let's just try to get through the melody. 1, 2, Yeah, so that's good. Let's go from letter C2.
Yes.
1, 2, 3, Yeah, and so a little break there. Like maybe you can play that with me. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I'll get a little 2
Same
hours.
place? Same
Yeah.
place, 3, 4?
Yeah.
I want ready, play.
Yeah, don't just go into time or wherever it goes. Be completely free, whatever. So what I'm thinking also is at the beginning, like maybe there's little bits and snippets of the melody, like it's just kind of like a little conversation that's going on,
Uh-huh.
and then
Call and response kind of thing, you mean?
kind of, yeah. I mean, just kind of like playing little bits of the melody is what I
Okay.
was thinking,
Okay.
and then eventually we go into time at letter A, and that's when the tune
Okay.
starts. And,
Alright.
and after the tune, after we're doing the open stuff, we go into a little drum thing, and then maybe just count me back into letter A.
Okay. Okay. Sax and bass.
Or maybe at the beginning I'll even count you into letter A after we do our little thing. You know, but I might be like 1, 2, stop, right? You know? Yeah, let's try it.
Okay.
C, 2,
Alright, getting to know it. You guys
Yeah.
say getting to know it.
Let's try the melody up a tempo.
Okay.
1, 2, 1, 2. Yeah, so what I did on this melody also.
Yeah, that's like this stinger.
So I came up with those first 3 bars. Right? And so I took the same notes, but put them in a different rhythm. So from the top, like those first 4 bars, 2, So then it stops there, right? So the second 4 bars, exactly the same notes.
Yeah.
In a different order. Check it out. 2,
Yeah.
Alright, so second 4 bars.
Little juxtaposition.
Right. So you kind of just twist them around.
Yes. Yes.
And
yes.
but I found the shape of it first, and then kind of went from there.
Yes.
So I'm eventually hearing this, probably with upright bass, maybe playing some of the melody also.
Yeah. The definition of quirky.
Definition of quirky, yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
We play it one more time. We'll play it quirky.
the whole thing through?
Or
just
just
the
the
melody?
second time.
Okay, let's yeah.
Always undertaking. I'm still at nailing the end. I'm just.
Let's go C2 to the end.
2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
One more time.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 1, belly play. Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no, yeah. One.
From the top?
Yeah. 1, 2. 1, 2.
One more time. 2. 1, 2.
That's it.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Okay.
Beautiful.
It's like you gotta catch the shape of these tunes. You know?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Okay.
Hey, so I got some questions. So part of this is also kind of like a podcast. You know, we're going to be releasing a podcast within 24, or actually within 48 hours of after doing these things.
Speed
And
cast.
so I have 5 questions that I ask everybody,
Oh, nice.
and so I'm going to ask you if that's all right.
All right.
Yeah.
This is the speed cast.
Yeah. So my first question, sort of in light of the coronavirus going around, also the tornadoes that have hit Nashville in early March, just a couple weeks ago. Obviously, there's no more gigs. There's no tours happening right now. There's very little session work going on.
There's a great disturbance in the force.
There's a great disturbance in the force. So my first question is, how has the work shut off personally affected you?
Well. Man, there's a bunch of answers, man. How's the work personally affected me? Well, first of all, I had some broken pipes in my yard. And those broken pipes, I was like, okay, they might have to dig up the whole yard. It might be, might be 10 grand. I don't know. You know what I mean? But I said, okay, I'm working. I mean, I'm doing plenty of work. So whatever you got to do, just do it. Right? All of a sudden, gigs are cut off. And so now I'm hoping that they're going to find that pipe. You know, so it's like I'm not going to go way back, you know. Right. So just as far as like the idea of having a little bit of cushion to be able to take care of emergencies and stuff got really thin, you know. And it's like, you know, I felt fortunate because there's people who, wow, they lost everything. You know what I mean? True. Like it wasn't just a broken pipe; it was a broken roof and a broken everything. You know, but it's just the thing with music when it just shuts off like that. It's just like I said, it's like a disturbance in the forest. Yeah. And what I appreciate about this, that I said, to me, it signaled the change. It's like, okay, musicians got to know how to reach the people that are waiting for them. You know what I mean? And so this idea of doing the podcast was. That's how it affected me, was that I wanted that we needed to do this kind of initiative.
Bit of a paradigm shift.
It was a paradigm shift. To me, it reminded me the same. It was a signal, the same signal that maybe Blockbuster got when Netflix was sitting over there, and Blockbuster was like, "Well, wow, you know, we're in the comfort zone, right?" So I feel like I'm zeroing in on the answer to your question. Is it has to do with the comfort zone, right? And how reality usually sends you something to nudge you out of that comfort zone. Yeah. So by not doing gigs and something, it nerves you further outside of a comfort zone. That comfort zone is not there anymore. Right.
And so I think what it forces musicians then to do, artists of all ilk and people with small businesses, finding creative ways of being creative.
Yes, yes. And I'm sort of on that path anyway. So outside of the comfort zone, it's what I was talking about with Dane Bryant the other day. He was saying, you know, like with the, he was talking, man, you know, I had a session with Dane Bryant the other day. We were talking about Secrets and Carter, and, you know, the old band and just everything. And he said, you know, it's interesting how faith and fear serve the same role. They both ask you to believe in something that you cannot yet fully see. You know, and you can face it with fear, and in that way, or faith asks you to face it another kind of way. Both of them you can't see, you can't fully know it yet, you know. And it seemed like that this thing personally affected me on the sense of, while you, sir, are not standing in your comfort zone for sure. As a lot of people that got their houses, you know, torn up, you know, in different ways, the comfort zone line has been moved. Yeah. And a lot of times, that is for our edification. Sure. See what I'm saying? Yeah. So in that sense, I just felt that, you know, a little bit of sense of urgency and the ability to kind of focus on some of the directions I was doing anyway. You know?
Well, you've always been one to really go with the flow. So I'm not saying it was easy on any stretch, but you always seem to sort of be on the front of your feet rather than leaning back. You're always moving forward with things. Yeah. And so it seems like maybe you're maybe a little more well prepared for something like this in your lifestyle and the way that you sort of approach your everyday.
Yeah, it's funny, you know, like, because I'm in two marketing mastermind classes with these top funnel builder marketers. Like, I went to Russell Brunson's Click Funnel Funnel Hacking Live. These are the top marketers in the world, man. You know, so I'm learning this and how you bring your knowledge. Even Tony Robbins and Dean Graziosi are doing this thing where you bring your knowledge online because people are thirsty for that. You know, there's college, but there's also just what you know. And so it's just like, well, wow, everything that I'm studying seemed like it was a foreshadowing to something that it's not just kind of a thing, but it's almost like a mandatory thing in order to reach the people that are thirsty for you. I mean, literally, who would have thought that you just cannot go play a club? You know what I mean? Like, Nashville was on the news today saying, well, we're going to open anyway. You know, it's like, wow, is this going to be a standoff? You know what I mean? And then it was like, okay, we'll shut down. But it's like, no, you cannot work. You know?
Right, yeah, they're saying no.
Right. And, now, how long is that going to last?
Who knows?
How long is that going to last? But so it seems like what we're doing now is like I've always instinctively believed there's a great equalizer where your audience is just on the other side of the screen. So everything we're studying is like, well, they're thirsty, they're sitting at home too, you know. And so to me it was just a signal of time. But yeah, it was it basically erased any cushion. It's like, you know, the yard work that I had was all of a sudden, wow, man, I hope they don't have to dig this whole yard up, man, because
or if they do, maybe they find a big bag of cash. Maybe they find a big bag of cash if they're digging in.
There you go, there you go. But, you know, at the same time, you know, there's just projects and stuff that I'm working on too that affects it. It just affects it. You know, I'm reaching out. There's a bunch of classical musicians that are over here from Venezuela that I thought that I was going to have to go to Venezuela to meet. But all of them are here in Miami, man. You know what I mean? So I'm like thinking about actually bringing some of them to be on this. And just symbolically. I really appreciate you for like having the initiative. Like, I was like, Jeff is like not wasting any time, man. It's like,
well, you've always been an inspiration. You're just like, man, let's, you know, you just do it. You just make it happen.
And it's time. It's time right now. You know what I mean? It's just like even when I started Rhythm Hackers, you know, just starting about it. And right now, I just got to unpack a lot of stuff. To share
that's
with
a great thing. I've been watching.
I'm just sharing it with people. But like Magic Johnson too, I'm passing the ball. You know what I mean? How do you think about rhythm? Boom.
We'll make sure we link that also, so people can get hip to that.
But I just think that it's in the age now where we're being nudged out of our comfort zone, and a lot of times the greatness comes out of that. And it's dangerous. It's not safe, right? But a lot of times the greatest art and the greatest achievements of humanity come out of dangerous times. Like when who's ever writing the Shakespearean plays, man, everything is not okay around that art. Miles Davis, Coltrane, the world, Duke Ellington, they're dressing nice, but the world was not okay around that art. So here we are now. Whoa. Not only can you not work, but then there's this like, it reminds me of this biblical, you know, cloud of death hovering over people's doors and like everybody's ducking, you know, ducking death or something, you know. And it's funny, you know, after a while I have to think about my grandma, you know. She always used to say, man, you can't go before your time. And when it's your time, you're going to be right on time. You know what I mean? You're going to be right on time. So it's like, you know, I just think that, you know, it's just going to let it bring the best out of you. You move out of your comfort zone. You know, if there's some kind of sickness where guess what? Your immune system's got to get kicked up. You know? Because at the end of the day, that's who's going to be doing the fighting.
Take care of yourself.
You've got to take care of your immune system. Others. And plus, just your immune system has to do the battle. You know, whether you got a flu, a cough, this or that. You know, if you get a little bit of the vaccine, which gives you little strains of the flu, still your immune system's got to kick up. So whatever it is that we got to do to think in those terms, healthy terms, you know, walking, this, and just positive thoughts too. You know, listen to your favorite music. Don't, you know, psychologically be defeated. You know, and just, you know, we're all moved out of our comfort zone. You know, and so
keep going is what you're saying.
Like my dad said, when the going gets tough, it's a positive signal to keep charging. It's a positive signal. That's he learned that in the war. So that's my thing. You know, like everybody's feeling it. Everybody's really feeling it.
We'll do it together.
Yeah. So.
Okay, good. So a couple more questions for you. What's been your biggest challenge being part of the Nashville music scene?
Wow, you know, biggest challenge being part of the Nashville music scene, I think would be if I was trying to fit in, you know, but I was never really trying to fit in. But I think that would be the biggest challenge of just trying to find your place. If you want to do a bunch of studio sessions for people out there that want to do that, you know, it's a challenge to kind of find your way in and stuff. But
because you've always had your own musical voice and your own sort of experimental nature of what you've done, and you brought that to every situation. So when people work with you, they're working with you for your sound. Whereas maybe in the studio, it's like, well, they're going for maybe a more generic kind of thing. Like, oh no, we want this 2-beat to sound like whoever.
Which is fun. I like to do that.
And really it's a different kind of challenge, I imagine.
But it's funny, you know, like I got to do that with Paul Brady in Ireland. He was in Ireland to do that. And that's the spirits Spirits Colliding record.
Okay.
Very traditional sound. Did it all on the drum guitar.
Yeah.
But it was like it just freed them up, man. It was just beautiful to find someone's music. I did that recently with someone in the studio not far from me, and you know, I just kind of her vocals. She said it's kind of strange and weird. I was like, I like strange and weird, but it's like, you know, just finding what she was looking for. So I found this kind of tom pattern, thinking like Manu Katché, but I didn't hear. I brought some acoustic stuff, but I found it on the electronic drums, and it's just kind of painting like that.
Yeah.
And I think if there was a frustration, it would be if I was trying to fit in, but it's kind of like I didn't have to fit in, you know, so much. So the frustration for me is just my own frustrations, you know, just trying to reach where I'm trying to get to and not being there.
Yeah, I think a lot of us feel that.
Yeah, you know, because I mean, like, it's like you're reaching further than the technology is. Because like even when we started with Béla Fleck and the Flecktones, the technology just wasn't there for me to be trying to do what I should just be doing this. You know, you know, it's just so wrong, man, not to be doing this. You know, but I had to try to get it there, you know what I mean? So the frustration is sort of internal because you're reaching, trying to just push the time to get. It's kind of like with George Lucas, you know, he's going to make Star Wars, but the technology's not there yet.
Right.
So they got to take half the budget and just build the technology. And it's, a lot of with me has been like that, just kind of really trying to bring it up to par, and it can be really frustrating. But Nashville, I have to say, the opposite of that, what is beautiful, is just seeing Nashville grow. You know, just all the people like Edgar Meyer and these classical people. There's a classical thing happening here. And all of these jazz people that are moving here now. The National Museum of African American Music is coming right here, man. You know what I mean? And so it's like the city's sort of catching up with the fullness of that Music City thing, you know. And so I'm just glad to be able to see that. You're looking around and see all the cranes and see all these cool people, Hollywood people moving down to Franklin, powerhouse people coming here. And, you know, I think art maybe has something to do with the attractiveness of the city. Yeah.
Well, you've always been a big part of that ever since I moved here in '91. You and your brothers were already here doing stuff that I had never heard anybody do before, you know, and so you've always been a big part of that, and that's certainly always inspired a lot of younger players moving to town, and even established players that were here to sort of think maybe bigger than their own perspective.
Yes.
You know, I think it's a perspective changer.
Yeah, and that's actually beautiful, man. I just spent Pi Day with Dane, March 14th, and we didn't know it, man. A couple of years ago, 2015, we got together. He helped me to do music for Pi Day. Yeah. And I just hooked up with him. It was just serendipity that we were meeting here again on Pi Day. Nice. But he mentioned that he came to Nashville because of us. He said, wow, man, you know, he came after, I think, Keith Horn, then John Billings. Yeah. They came, and they all came, played with Reggie at the little Grapevine. Yeah, the Grapevine. Right, and then took right off. Yeah. Just took off, not even hardly looking back, you know. And so it's beautiful to kind of see your friends soar like that. You know, and as I sit now, it's kind of like, it's beautiful wherever you plant yourself. Nashville, I like Nashville just because I had spent some time in New York. And New York's fast-moving city. It's got its own built-in rude thing. You know, it's just got its built-in know-it-all thing. You know what I mean? It's just, they know it all. And I wanted to be in a place that didn't know it all yet. You know? And so with Nashville, I got a chance to kind of step out and just experiment and stuff, step away from all them big power contracts and, you know, all that stuff, and step back and just try to experiment on.
It's one of the reasons why I really liked it. Originally, that's one of the things that drew me here. Because I was like, I really want to work on my composition. Yeah. And I thought, you know, this is a good place. It's quiet. There's space to think. And and I don't know anybody. Didn't know anybody here. Yeah. And so it was a leap of faith. Yeah. And I'm glad I did it.
Yeah, and you know, I like too that Southern thing where people, like in New York, you just got to do this. You know what I mean? You're walking down the street. You're not meeting eyes with people because you know, there's not going to be any kind of scams. Like
Yeah.
we're just doing our thing. But here, Nashville, you know, people in the pancake pantry waiting 2 hours
Yeah.
in line to get the thing, you know.
Eat a pancake.
And
Yeah.
everybody's smiling. That's the
Right.
thing. When you look at these
People are
lines,
friendly. Yeah.
every
Yeah.
week, man, they're waiting around the corner. It doesn't matter what the weather is.
Yeah.
People are like smiling. People
Yeah.
look at each other smiling. So I kind of like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That a little bit slowed down humanity
Yeah.
thing. And but it's nice to see the city growing up and maybe it's like leading the charge.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of people saying, you know, this is turning into a really nerve center.
Yeah, I would agree.
That's really cool. You know,
Yeah.
it's really cool to see that.
Great.
Yeah.
Great. One more question.
Yeah.
Why do you make music?
Huh. Why do I make music, man? It's just like, why do I breathe?
Mm.
Man. Because that's just the way it is. Like, you know, you're born and you're breathing.
Uh-huh.
It's like, why does my heart beat? Like, music is really something that's that kind of thing for me.
Mm-hmm.
Why do I make music? And if I go back to, like, when we were young, there was just something about, like, in life, sometimes you just find something that's just, for some reason, you're just excited about it. And as I answer this question, I go back to my young self and remember, man, just going to concerts. I just like to go and just look at the equipment. You know, like, what are they getting ready to do with that? You know, like the drum set look cool, the piano look cool, the saxophone, all these keys. I still don't understand how people press the keys. I used to tell my brother Rudy, I don't know how you know where to put your fingers on that thing. But it's just something fascinating about the world of music, and it has always been so.
Yeah.
And the fact that we were going to participate in it, we didn't wait for permission. It's just like, we're doing it. Like, we have a soda straw, man. We bite down on the straw and make a horn out of it.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
then cut holes and make a horn. It's
Yeah.
just like the call of music. And for me, why I make music, to me, seemed the most clear with the most esoteric answer. And that was with Stephen J., who was the bass player with Weird Al, who went to Mali and studied with the Dogon preceptor. These guys, for ages, have known about Sirius A, Sirius B. They know things about the stars that they shouldn't know, right? Well, they describe music and inanimate objects as having a consciousness, right? And everything being based off this vibration, which is really a type of music, vibration, right? But they say that music is actually a conscious entity. Not just the force, but a conscious entity.
Beautiful.
I was saying, you mean like the force in Star Wars? You say, yeah, but even more. It's more like what they say the creator is in the Bible. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and it says the music calls you. You know what I mean? Just like if music is like the God force, I'm going, wow, in the Bible, God calls the prophets. You know, a lot of times the prophets don't want to prophesy. They'd rather do what they used to be doing.
Yeah.
I remember my granddaddy. He was playing baseball. All of a sudden, he had to stop playing baseball. If it was his choice, he would have kept playing baseball. But he was called by something higher than him to do that. Well, the Dogon talk about music like that. And I was like, oh, okay. So maybe that's why you put so many hours into your practice. Like, nobody can pay you the amount of money that you put into practicing and developing and researching. It's like this obsessive, like, developing of yourself. And maybe there's something greater than you whispering to you where it is that you're trying to go. To me, that just made the most sense. Like, whoa, music was like this higher power thing that really makes up everything. You know what I mean? The vibration vibrates and creates light, creates sound, creates heat, creates gravity, creates gravitational waves. You know, in the beginning was the vibration, however we say it. So I just leave you with this thought. It's like the Dogon said, the way you know your instrument, if you're playing guitar, B.B. King knows Lucille. Well, they say that the instrument actually has a little consciousness in it, but it's not like yours. So the instrument doesn't know you the way you know your instrument. And they said that's how we don't know music the way music knows us.
Oh, interesting.
And so to me, that sort of answers why maybe why am I called to do music with this type of obsession? You know what I mean? Like, where it's just like, wow, man. And it's like this unstoppable force. Like, for me, it's more powerful than the military. A lot of people go in the military to see the world, right? But music says, let me take you around the world. You know what I mean? I'll take you around the world 3, 4, 5 times. Nobody dies. Everybody gets enlightened, right? It's like music has a different way of doing the same things, you know. So what I like about this, I believe we owe it to try to create a home in music for people. Like times are tough right now.
Yeah.
What can we do with music to create a place that people can plug in even during difficult times?
Sure.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
To me, that is the part that what we're trying to bring to this whole realm of music. That it's a home for people. Everybody doesn't have to be a star. You know, you can be an assistant. You can be this. You can be that. You can be a helper. You can be this. Some people are organized. They're road managers, tour managers, attorneys. That is so. It's so wide.
Yeah.
The realm, and then also music it exercises the mind. So it's like I like to tell people, even when they get old, you know, like my mom wanted to learn the piano for so many years, and maybe she thought she was too old to start. But music is helping the mind to stay alive. You know, there's actually a documentary called "Alive Inside." And it talks about if you play music to someone who doesn't even talk anymore, they're old, you put their music on and watch them come alive.
Right, that's true.
The music just reaches right into it. So when you
Different
play
brain,
music, you're actually exercising. You know, for people thinking about Alzheimer's or how do I keep my mind active, music serves that thing. So the reason why I play music is just this love we've all of my brothers had that same love for it too. So. We do it because we just got to do it, man. Even if we didn't get paid, man, it's like it's something we got to do.
Yeah, beautiful, so, beautiful.
There you go.
All right, well let's go out on something short. We just got a couple of minutes left here.
All right.
I want to thank folks for checking this out.
Yeah.
And again, it's iTA studio streams. We'll be doing it every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday for the foreseeable future at 7 p.m. Nice. And my special guest tonight is the Futureman Wooten over there.
Good to be here. Thank you, Jeff.
We hope you'll check it out, and feel free to donate to the cause and take care of some local musicians.
Yeah.
All of your donations go 100% to the musicians involved. I take nothing. Give it all away to the cats that are going to be involved with this endeavor. So we thank you very much, and
stay
tuned. Let's improvise. Let's stay true to the word.
Yeah.
Surprise and unexpected.
iTA. What's that stand for?
Into the air. That's a wrap.
Into the air.
Thanks, y'all. Roy Futureman Wooten, Jeff Coffin.
Yeah.
ITA studiostreams.com.
Beautiful.
Check it out.